Two women live in a foreign land. Naomi, a Jew, and her daughter-in-law Ruth, a Moabite. All the men in their family have died, and they are left penniless and in need.
Ruth, leave me. I have nothing left. I am old, and your best hope is to find a husband who can take care of you.
No, you are my mother. Where you go, I will go. Your people will be my people, and your God will be my God. He will take care of us better than any husband.
He didn't take care of my husband. My name means sweet, and for a while my life was sweet. But now that God has abandoned me, the name bitter would be better to describe me.
Back in Israel.
Ruth, there's a law here that poor women can go to the fields and pick up any extra grain that the workers drop. I'm too old to work in the fields all day, but will you go and find what food you may?
Of course, Mother.
Ruth goes to a field owned by Boaz, a distant relative of Naomi's. She works hard there, gathering the unused grain. One day, the owner arrives. Hey! How are the best workers in all Israel doing? The Lord bless you and keep you.
And the Lord be with you.
Boaz questions his foreman about progress on the fields. And, are you taking good care of the poor women?
Yes, and there is a new widow, Ruth, from Moab. She has been laboring hard for weeks to support her mother-in-law.
Naomi? She's one of my relatives. Well, hey, Ruth. I've heard how kind you are to your mother-in-law. Glean in my fields all day long and as much as you like. May God reward you and protect you.
He does. Thank you for your kindness.
At lunchtime, Boaz is impressed with Ruth's faith and wit. When the meal is over and Ruth has gone back to work. Hey, listen here, buddy. Drop a little extra grain on purpose. Ruth can pick it up. Make sure no harm comes to her. Meanwhile, late in the day, that evening, when Ruth went home, Ruth and Naomi had a nice discussion.
Look at all the grain I got. Naomi, your God is so good to us.
Wow. When my husband and my sons died, I thought God had forgotten me. Now look how much he loves me because he gave me a daughter-in-law who cares for me like a daughter. Thank you, Ruth.
All through the harvest season, Ruth gleans in Boaz's field and takes care of Naomi. One evening,
Boaz, Boaz has shown that he is kind to you. As a kinsman, he has the right to marry you. The harvest celebration is tonight. You should wear your nicest outfit to the party, and then you should ask him if he would be your kinsman redeemer. He would take care of you and marry you.
Boaz is a godly man, and I will do what you tell me.
Thank you.
Ruth does everything exactly like Naomi described. And Boaz took a little bit of a notice to it.
Ruth, you came.
Yes, and Naomi told me to ask you. Since you are a kinsman, would you be my redeemer? Would you marry me?
Is there no one to take care of you?
No.
Then I will. Please pardon my girly voice earlier. The news of Ruth's and Boaz's coming marriage spreads rapidly throughout the Bethlehem. At the wedding, there's a feast, music, and laughter.
Are you happy, my dear?
Happier than I ever dreamed I could be. God has been good to me.
After the wedding, Ruth and Naomi move into Boaz's big house. Later, when a son is born to Ruth, Naomi proudly cares for the child. And that child ends up being the great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandpa of Jesus Christ, our Savior.